Hey guys, today I want to talk about the DELF and DELF French proficiency examinations. There's DELF Diplôme d'études and then there's DELF Diplôme approfondi. I took the DELF in 2009 in Togo. It was the first time I was hearing about it and I just wanted to try. So I took the B1 and the result was great. I scored about 70, 80 thereabout, but I do not have that result right now. I don't know where it is. I don't need it because I have a C1. I took the C1 in 2012 and I took it at the same time with the B1. I took with the B2 and C1 at the same time. At the time I was preparing for the examination, there's this guy who worked at the French embassy. He's French, and then he told me I could fail the two, that I should just take a B1, and I'm like, no, I want to take the C1 and the C2. And then he's like, okay, just take the B2. I said, no, I'll take the B2 and the C1. Like, he was just like, I don't really know what's wrong with him. He said the exam is tough, that even French people fail it. And I'm like, I mean, French people, Francophone Africans fail it, and of course that's really true. And then he was like, I should take the B1, and I'm like, I already have a B1. Anyways, the examination is pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Whatever one you're taking, B1, B2, C1, C2, they are tough, but B2 is kind of harder than C1 because C1 is like complicated but doesn't have too many questions, while B2 is complicated and has a lot of questions. So then there are 4 sections: production écrite, production orale, compréhension orale, which is the first one, and compréhension écrite, which follows immediately. That's reading comprehension. And then production is just to test your ability to speak and to understand when you're spoken to, and to see if you understand written texts. That's just it. So practice, practice, practice. That's what you need to do before you go to the exam hall to write this exam. How did I practice? First of all, you have to train your ears to listen and to catch the words, to know what is being said. So you need to really listen as much as possible to French audio, the news, movies, songs. Just keep listening and then try to pronounce as much as possible, and then ask yourself questions in French and try to answer these questions in French. Now let me tell you where a lot of people fail it. It's in production orale. I'm going to explain that. In production orale, sometimes you might have to engage in a conversation with your examiner, and sometimes you might just be given a topic to talk about by yourself. So sometimes there's a role play where you play a role and then the examiner plays a role, and then sometimes you just have a text and you have to just keep talking for 15 minutes. So ask yourself, est-ce que je peux parler en français pour 15 minutes sans arrêt? Can I talk in French for 15 minutes non-stop? Is it possible? Because sometimes you could get tired. When I speak Spanish, I get tired because I'm not used to it. It's not my nature. So you just have to try, practice. Read, talk, go crazy. Like I'm going crazy now in my room just talking to myself. Just try to do it in French. It will help you because you don't know if you're going to be with an examiner that talks really fast. And again, I want to say, if an examiner talks really fast, you need to ask him to repeat and not say something stupid. It's better to get a clarification of the question than to start answering another question which you thought you heard, but that just makes you look stupid. Okay, so production orale, I've talked about keep practicing, and then compréhension orale, because it's mostly in the orals that people have a lot of trouble. For reading comprehension, you need to take your time, but you need to be careful with time as well. And for writing, you might have to write a letter. You have to find out if it's a formal letter or an informal letter. Basically, that's just it. The thing is, when I took the DALF exam and I passed the DALF exam, I wrote it with about 13 people. So that means 12 people failed. And I was the only one who passed it. Okay, this is how it works. In every section, it's over 25, and you have to score up to 5 on one section if you score less than 5 on a section, you fail the entire exam. You have to write it all over again. So you just have to work on, don't say this is the skill I want to put more attention on. No, you have to put your attention on all of these skills, because if you fail in one, you fail in all, because they're actually just testing your proficiency. Like, really, are you an independent user? Are you a beginner? So it's A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. So it gets just like that, and that's how it stops. So if you want to push yourself to the limits and you're a beginner, try starting with the A2 exams. Or if you have so much faith, you can start with the B1. Yeah, because I started with the B1 and I didn't know I was gonna like, ooh, make it. And I said, oh, I should have just taken the B2. And I took the C1 until today. I haven't taken the C2, and I'm like, oh, I should have just taken the C2. But it doesn't really matter anymore because, well, I speak French. If I wanted, it would be so easy to, you know, write and succeed at. So I think my focus now is to write Spanish exams to see what the result's going to be like. So why do you have to take these exams? You need to take these exams just to test your proficiency. There's kind of money involved, but the fee is not as costly as the IELTS or the English exams. It's just a token. So just pay and just see, put your money where your heart is. Just pay and see if you do great at it, and see if you have some areas for improvement. And guys, I wish you success in the exams. Please try to study, listen to as many French audio as possible. I love you guys. Take care. Bye. This just happened randomly. I just put the camera on. I didn't know what to talk about. I said, okay, I'm going to talk about the DELF and DALF exam. I'm going to tell them that when I passed the exam, everyone who wrote the exam with me failed, including those who were from French-speaking African countries. They failed. So please, guys, make it serious. Oh, my result for the C1, I scored about 60 something, 68. The first time I took the C1, yeah, I need to tell you what the time. The first time I took the C1, I scored even higher, but I failed in one section. I don't really know what that section is anymore, so I had to write the exam again. So do not be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to fail. Just prepare. The second time I prepared, I ran out of the house. The first time I was Cinderella-ing, and I'm going to talk about my Cinderella life later. I was Cinderella-ing and prepared for the exam at the same time. In fact, stepmother knew that I had an exam. I told her, but that was when things got really tougher and harder, and on purpose I'll just be facing my books and then I'll get called, you know. So I failed that one. Then I wrote the exam again, and then this time, whoa, and my name is Ludo, so it starts like with an A, and then I was admis, and then everyone under me was like fail, 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 fail. It was good because the first time when I failed, my result was taken out of the board like with a razor blade, because I worked at the French Institute, so it was kind of embarrassing for the institute for them to have a teacher fail. So this is so embarrassing to talk about. So they just like tore everything like pew, pew. And then he sealed it back like I never wrote it. So the second time I was proud to just walk by, look at the board. Everybody, I'm not happy that everybody failed. I'm just happy that it was a good comeback. Yeah, so guys, study hard and speak as many languages as you can grab, because the world is rapidly converging and we need to collaborate in our ever changing and evolving world. Take care of yourself. Bye.